to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris. Happy to be with you on this Monday evening. Uh, Today, the Journey 2020 is actually on the road. And if you have been watching and been part of the Journey 2020 over the past few years, you know that on occasions that I have a key Nkrumah on from Young Fathers of Central Florida. And he's been on, and he comes on especially during this time of the year in the month of June, where, of course, you know, there's Father's Day. And we're joining him as part of the 10th annual Father's Week, where he's starting out on Monday, and he has something every night of the week leading up to Father's Day. And so tonight we will be joining him as part of the Responsible Fatherhood Black Male Achievement. And so there's a roundtable going on, and we will be joining them in the discussion where he will give more information about Young Fathers of Central Florida and their 8 programs. And we will just be getting feedback from the people there at the roundtable about what they do, how they're involved, and their different programs. So let's join Young Fathers of Central Florida there at the Callahan Center here in Orlando, Florida, right now.
Tell you, when me and John was bringing the sandwiches in, it just caved on pouring. And my suit got wet. And this is the first time the suit got wet. And I said, man, it ain't even drying. I said, what kind of material is this? Just water just sitting up there. I said, man, what kind of suit is this? My son John was laughing. His little pants he got, you know, they were, I don't know what material that made out. It dried in 2 seconds. I said, man, I got this old suit. You got to go put up under the air. But that was just funny. Rudy, you want to say something?
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's indeed a pleasure for me to be here tonight. I know quite a few in the room, but some I don't know. And for those of you, my name is Ruben Grant. I sit on the board for Young Fathers of Central Florida. Been working with Hakeem going on exactly 10 years now. Met him at a chapter meeting, and this fiery brother from New York started talking about fatherhood. I said, let me get down on a little some of this. Little did I know that my volunteering on the, once or twice a year would turn into sitting on the board, trying to be about as much responsible fatherhood as I can be, and trying to catch up with him from time to time. Anybody who has dealt with Hakeem knows that brother is on the grind. You call him, it's about responsible fatherhood. Every once in a while, my wife and I will have to grab him and say, hey, can we just go out, just have, meal, we took him and his wife to a little jazz fest for a hot second one time, and he was like, man, it is so good just to get out and just be out from it. I was like, yeah, because you Negro, you work 365 days a week. You got to take a break once in a while, recharge the batteries. Then one time, I remember the wife got on the phone with him and says, have you eaten your vegetables? And he was like, yeah, to think about it. So anyway, I say all that to say, thanks everybody for coming out. As Hakeem said, in the monsoon, we're in 10 years, responsible fatherhood here in Central Florida. People from year 1 said, well, we'll see what happens in year 2. People from year 2, we'll see if you make it to year 3. Well, guess what? Year 10, now what you got to say? We're still here, we're still doing work, still going strong. Because again, people think because the title says Young Fathers of Central Florida that it's about the fathers. It is, but it's really about the kids. It's about taking care of those children, building a better future for our community. That's what we're in it for. The fathers are just the vehicle by which we get to making sure that these children grow up in a positive household and have, a better outlook on life. So anyway, I'll be talking all night. I appreciate y'all. Thank everybody for coming out. And on that note, I know Hakeem loves to do this, so I'm going to step on your toes a little bit. And I'm going to say, the brother to my left, introduce yourself, and then continue to work your way around the room and let us know how you got here tonight and why you're here with us.
Good evening. My name is Greg Bird. I consider myself somewhat of a philanthropist, humanitarian. I kind of do a lot of work with different organizations. I'm with Phi Beta Sigma, I'm with Lake Albany Sonic Claus, I'm with Malta Temple Shrines, 143. I'm president of the United Methodist Men at Church. I teach Sunday school. I also am a youth football coach. Started my 29th year, volunteer year with the City of Orlando. Happened to meet Harkeet at the Zora Neale Festival in Edenville 10 or so years ago. And listened to what he was talking about, saw that he was a true brother, and I've been here to try to support him in everything he do ever since. I'm a father myself, not I have one son, he goes to Pensacola State, Pensacola, he's a junior. But the kids that I deal with through football, I started here in Callahan. If you go in the back, you'll see me in some posters, some pictures, and some of the trophies there. I walked in the center of the football coach. The kids are low-income kids. A lot of them don't have fathers, so they kind of take their coaches as fathers. And that's why, I tell a lot of people I have a lot of kids. So those kids, even now, I started in 1989. I've got kids that are bringing their kids out there to be coached. Just happen to be with Harkeet and Young Fathers.
Let me just cut it in this, say we're not going to get away with it. The purpose of this night, the first night, is to invite individuals here who's doing good work in the community and sharing information, knowing who's in the room and what they do. So when we go through the introduction, we like people to, don't be modest. Ruben and Bird, they do so much in the community. And this is not a time to be modest this night. This is a time for all of us to know what it is that you do. Because sometimes, Earl and I, we just were talking earlier, and I was talking about how I needed interns. And he said, oh, I run the interns at Cook. I run the program. So a lot of times we don't know resources that each one of us have. And so this night is that night to not be modest, but talk about what it is that you do. And we see that you're here tonight, so you have passion in what you're doing, because you don't have to be here.
You've got mail.
But this is the important part of this night, is to just let us know exactly what it is that you do. Let us know what your profession is. Brother George sells real estate. Let us know that. My team, they so modest. They never say anything. They say, oh, I've been knowing how to keep for 18 years. He's a good brother. Happy to be here with you. But what else? So when we get to George, Smitty, tell us what it is that you do. And let's see if this mic can reach.
I got enough loud.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is George Smith. I go by Smitty. I'm actually on the board of Young Fathers as well. It's my first year. I've been very active in other communities outside of Orlando. My background is coming from the Navy. I have a Navy background and was in Philadelphia and worked a lot with the Philadelphia Athletics League there. Hawaii. I'm a realtor locally here as well. And of course, I'm a dad. She's 22 years old, and she's still my baby girl. So I always try to kind of put myself in situations that I know I'm setting an example for her. Whether it's going to be this young knucklehead that she's going to bring to the house one day to marry, it's got to be like that or better. Right. So I always tell her that, and even from like gassing up her cars, if he doesn't do this, we're not going to have that going on. So I do have a passion, as well as helping out the children in our community, and that's why I'm here. honestly, it's been a little slow start for me. But once I get going, we're all going to have a great time, and it's going to be a win-win situation. So that's what I'm here for, is continue my effort in making it a win-win situation. My dad has passed on now, and that's another thing I live for, is to, he didn't leave me big houses and cars, but he left me how to be a father. So that's what I'm all about. Continue with this.
My name is Earl Mawad. I'm actually I teach at Bethune-Cookman University. My area of research is social psychology, and it's actually an intersection of social psychology, race inequality, and media effects. So that's why I spend a whole lot of time on campus doing that. In addition to that, I do a lot of mentoring. I know Hakeem said this whole modesty thing is, but I do a lot of community work in the capacity that I was actually identified through the Obama administration for the mentoring work, and I was invited to go and sit on a panel and then peer review his initiative, mentoring. So that was a fantastic moment, I think, anyway, because the thing is that you never know who's looking. You know what I mean? You do know it's good work, and you never know. And I'll tell you a story behind that. I got an email from the White House, and I was like, yeah, right. So I kept pushing it back. And then I said, let me, they keep pushing this, sending it back. Let me go ahead and take a look at it. And then sure enough, next thing you know, I was on a plane to DC and sitting on this panel. But so I do a lot of mentoring, and I consider all of my students my kids, because they all, really look up to the faculty, and it really shows, you really do put them on path to live an imagined life. So with all that, that is why I'm here, because I'm working to, instill some of the things that I know to have some of these young fathers, not just for them to have imagined lives, but for their kids to have imagined lives as well. So that's why I'm here.
Good evening. My name is James McTeer. I was invited to this meeting by Charles Morris, and I've been doing it over the last year and a half. Got a chance to talk to him on the phone. I have an industrial engineering degree. Work out of Lockheed Martin. Entrepreneur myself, but I also work over the last 5 to 10 years at Children's Church, Pioneers Community Church. I'm a father of 2 daughters. My youngest is 27. She lives up in New York, so I was telling him. But I'm here to help in wherever way I can. Met with Charles and talk with him about some of the things he was doing and some of the things we were doing that you all have been doing in the community. So looking forward to working and helping wherever I can.
Good evening. My name is Gary Cobb. I'm also a proud father. I have a 2-year-old baby girl, turns 3 in a couple of weeks. I always say I'm a father first, so that's like my most passionate thing. I'm also president of the Gamma Delta Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma here in Orlando, where we do tons of community service and outreach. And we're currently in the midst of revamping our Sigma Beta Club, which is our youth auxiliary program where we kind of focus on youth from 8 to 18 years old. So that's kind of where our main focus has been since my new tenure as president of our chapter. I've kind of been involved with young fathers now for about 2 years, 2-3 years. Just coming out, offering, soaking up the wisdom of brothers in the room, and giving my input when necessary. So, thank y'all.
Chuck, can you come up for a second?
Yeah.
And tell us what you do, because you're always behind the camera, and we need to know what you do as well. So.
I'll sit down because I did the camera was sweating.
Oh, okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Charles Morris, and good evening to you. I'm Key. We're frat brothers, and we kind of share the same passion, but I have a nonprofit which is called Youth Central Connection. And what we try to do is that we try to connect the youth to the community, and for the last, I think this year will be my 15th year of having a youth summit. And each year we try to have workshops for boys and girls, and the parents. And along the way, we try to help each other out, and he does a great job of trying to connect the dots. So he will not let you get away here this evening without you talking to somebody and giving your information, because he understands how important it is for everybody to try to work together and get past this, I'm doing this and you're doing that over there. When you realize, you try to get people to understand how there's strength in numbers. That's really it.
My name is my name is Alfred Mann. I live here in Orlando. I've lived in the city, Orlando now for a little over 30 years on and on. Lived in all over the United States, New York, school in Johnson Wells, Providence, Rhode Island, Georgia, Memphis, and all over. Through the restaurant business. I'm a career person, came out of Disney and Darden, and own a company right now, I'm an entrepreneur as well, called Elite Catering Events and Ventures. And what we do is catering, but catering is one of those unique things where you can get 200 or 300 people in a room at one time. So we figured, why not diversify that and network within that? When we the contact, we always walk away with 3 or 4 other relationships that lead to other things. So unique opportunities there. Met a key through a pilot of a restaurant concept called Monty's Live Barbecue. So we want to garden, he's come out, patronize the place, buy food and support. I also met Senator Thompson, and they shared it all. So that's kind of how we connected. Found out what he was doing, wanted to get involved with the community. I'm one of those guys too, you can probably go around the table and tell those stories how circumstance puts us all in situations where you either make it or break it. And you and the brother talked about coaching. That's a huge part also. I still have some of my coaches they see me get crazy, they inbox me, shoot me a little message and say, keep it focused. So these guys are high school. So coaches never, if you have that relationship, you never lose that. So it's a great job here to talk about that. But something I was talking with the key with what he's doing right now, I have a facility out in Windermere, Georgia area. And it's basically like a retreat. And what I noticed at this location is I see all ethnicities of groups. Korean, Japanese, Jewish, Mexican. And they do retreats. It's relaxing retreats, but at the same time, it's a lakefront property. Canoes, kayaks, cabins. You have to do the work, but at the same time, you need to relax their mind. So it's kind of relax and build. You can be a little more creative. Anybody ever go on vacation at the beach, wherever you might go, your mind cuts off and you get that creative idea? It's so creative, you have to write it down, So I want to try to introduce that to them and see how we can work together. Create something like that for his organization. So where you take that break, have that retreat, build, relax, and in a very relaxed setting, fish, canoe, kayak, and then have a schedule of things you can do towards building a foundation for the community as well. And there's a lot of work to be done, way behind. There's a lot of work. We talk about 365 days, there's a lot of work to be done. There's no time for it. So I'm just here to support my team and looking deeper into what he's doing. He's put a lot of work in. And have lived in New York, worked in New York, so knowing that struggle out there in New York with the time, so they have our support.
My name is Bruce Gray. I started a nonprofit organization called Grace Project, where we go out into the communities in Central Florida area and Tampa, tutoring, mentoring. Our main focus Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. We literally go into, to the homes, Merchant Drive, Lake Man, Washington Shores, Paramount area, and we try to, reach kids who need a little help. So we provide programs for them, touring. We also started a fishing camp too, where we literally go out and provide fishing rods for the kids, mostly in the Lake Man area where I grew up. I was born and raised in the Lake Man Housing Project, and I used to like to fish when I was young. So we try to put together something where we can provide the kids the same opportunity. A lot of them, when they first started out there, they had a hook and a string, just throwing it out there. No, I would make sure you sign up, put your name on this, and I provide at least 15 to 20 fishing rods for the kids in the community. And then that was just kind of like the draw, but at the same time, I wanted to, make sure they have their mindset and education-wise. So from there, we started tutoring and mentoring. I met Key at Valencia Community College. He was my supervisor. He was all right. He was all right. No, he made sure that each and every time there was anything like, they say, hey, we need someone who can step up and do this. He said, hey, put Lewis down, put me down. So to show them that I can step up and do what we need. And from there, he left and started his nonprofit. And Joe followed and I watched it and everything while at work, while he was on his way out. And then he helped me, because later on, I was promoted to the same position where he supervised me. So he was the assistant director of admissions, and then once he left, then I was able to get the position. And then at the same time, I watched him do, everything from marketing, advertising, all what he does to turn this into the 10th annual event. So I just want to say here to support and say thank you to the organization because they have pushed me to a point where I wanted to do things.
Did you tell them what you tutored? What subject?
Yeah, Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2.
Have all the little brothers studying that math?
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is De Niro Allen. I'm the owner of the law office of De Niro J. Allen. Family attorney for the last 6 years, so as it pertains to fathers, I've dabbled it out for them for the last 6 years, and I'm about ready to hang that up. Bring some hungry lawyers on to deal with it. I've participated in past Young Fathers of Central Florida events, so however Haki can use me or whatever he needs, I'm always willing to assist. I'm also the board chairman for the YMCA Teen Achievers, so that's pretty much my avenue for dealing with our youth in this community. There's a lot of important events that we put on through that organization. So I'm just happy to be here, eager to learn, and just always supportive of what this work is doing. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Tonette Stinson, and I'm the center supervisor for the Callahan Head Start Center, the Orlando Tech Head Start Center, and the Denton Johnson Head Start, which is in Edenville. So I have 80 children that we monitor daily, and started our male involvement program with our key 10 years ago in the Pine Hills Community Center. We started off with 2 dads, now, and then we ended up with 14 that my understanding are still hanging out, going strong, but that's wonderful. And basically what we do here is where it's like where the rubber meets the road. It's 3-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds, so they're mixed ages, and we take their families so they can become self-sufficient. Once they go through our program, we don't want to be the revolving door. We want them to be able to stand on a strong foundation, give them what they need so they can move on. That's what we do here, and we have fathers. We have 45 children at this site. Now those 45 children, we were able to finally get 27 dads to come and be participants for a whole year. That's a difficult feat, but it was doable, and we did it, and they started learning. So we didn't push mom aside, but we started really letting dad become a more viable part of our program. So they understand that he means as much in the household, or not in the household as much as mom. So they're learning the process. Out of that, we have for dad has become self-sufficient. They have become Head Start employees. So that's what we're trying to do. We don't want them to think, oh, I'm just dad and you just call me when you need me. No, we want you here every day on a daily basis. So they're dynamic dads and we have marvelous moms. But anything that's going on here, they're always a part of it. We just had a mother-son dance and then we had a father-daughter dance. And we always have family events here because they may not have the means to go out because they have such large families, and we do a lot of in-house services here. So we really are reaching out in the community. We do have different resources for them to be a part of, because some things that they need help with, they're not sure about it, and if they don't know, they're not going to really ask. So we try to put everything in-house, so it's like a one-stop shop so they can get the things that they need.
This is the gentleman who I invited here today. He's actually visiting me from Kentucky, and we've been friends from junior high school. He's one of my best friends in all the world, so he's kind of laid back. But I asked him to come here, and I just asked him today, I said, Peter, how long you been married? He said, 30 years. And he has raised a daughter and a son. So I said, well, you will have something to say. Because his children that I have met are well-mannered and got that old southern, you know, because he's from Georgia. If you listen to him long enough, you will know he's from Georgia. But I asked him to come here this evening because I said, you got some knowledge and something, somewhere. You've been married for 30 years and you have raised 2 kids, and I'll let you finish. Oh, by the way, we will forgive him because he's a cute, but that's okay. From Preston, Kentucky. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Charles said, we've been friends forever, and I just rolled into town a couple of days ago and told him I was going to come down and see one of his programs. I didn't know he was going to put me in it. Yeah, I'm here just an observer, and I'm listening to what everybody's saying. Sound like y'all got a good program going on here for these young kids growing up. That's what they are. They don't know anything about parenting yet, but if they stick for you guys, I think they'll be on the right track. Right?
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Crystal Armstrong, and I've seen at least half of you at different events here with Young Fathers of Central Florida. And I primarily started out as a volunteer with Hakeem probably 10 years ago, helping with the conferences and anything in the background, organizing, coming out, and just being available to assist during the different events. And I guess because of my relationship with my dad, that I know that it's important for children to have a relationship with their dad. So when he talked about Young Fathers of Central Florida, it was something dear to my heart. And I learned so much by being involved with the organization to help young fathers or men in general with their children, that I started working on grant writing and working on curriculum for the program. So I'm also an educator, 20 years in Orange County Public Schools, and so I've seen some young fathers in our school system that really get ignored because people just think they're sleeping in class first period and can't keep their eyes open and they don't want to learn. But when you talk with them about why they're sleeping, it's because they're a dad or something else is going on in the family. At least that's how I found out by asking them questions. So there are some of us educators out there that are looking for those young fathers, and it's just great to know that there's an organization that exists to help them.
Thank you, Chris. Thought she was gonna, I know she has to get out of here, but she thought she was gonna dip in here real quick, drop off a check and go. I'm going to backtrack a little with a few of you, and particularly Ruben, Crystal, Greg Bird, have been with us for years, and we would have never made it a decade in Central Florida and has branched out throughout the state and across the country without their support. People give me a lot of credit for it, but trust me, I would never be able to do it by myself. I'm already up all night, so imagine not having that support. Having the support is important. I'm just going to stop and talk a minute about Ms. Stinson here. She, of course, is humble, but when they asked me to go to Pine Hills Community Center to help start a father support group, she was the one that helped us get it going. She was the one that made the call. She was the one that made the flyers. She was the one that had the initiative to get these young fathers that were, or fathers period, that was in the Head Start program, because it wasn't just young fathers in that program. We had grandfathers. I never forget this one guy came in, he just grumpy, he looked mean. I mean, I didn't even want to say anything to the brother. He came, sat right next to me, grumpy face, didn't smile at anyone. So we started introducing ourselves, and we got to him, and he said that he had, were you in there that day or you weren't? You were in there?
Put me out that day.
Right, he had, I ran you out. I didn't know. Well, he had a wife and 5 daughters, and there was an accident, and his wife and 3 of his daughters were killed. So he was left with the 2 that was in the Head Start program, so he would take them every day. So he had lost all his faith in everything. And but as we started talking, you could see he started warming up. And after like the 5th or 6th meeting, he was talking to the other guys, and you know, he felt a lot better. And that made me feel good, because there were so many guys in that group at Pine Hills. There was one guy who had 8 children. And what about the one guy from Trinidad? He had like 12 or something. He had, and he knew, I mean, because the guy from Africa had 8. Then I just looked at his face. He was looking at his face like, man, he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. Right? So the guy was saying 8. We was all impressed, like, wow. He said, yeah, he don't know nothing. You know nothing here. He got to him, 12, pocket empty. But the thing I like, he was a responsible father. He knew every, you know, he would figure 12, okay, he might make some names up or something, but him and African brother, they were very involved in all his children, and it set an example for the other guys. Like the grandfather that lost his family, he was sitting across from a young guy who just had gotten out of jail. And he said that he was there, because I asked all of them why they were there. He said he was there because when he was sitting in his cell, on his bunk, he said the toilet was a few feet away. And he said he would think about all the times his daughter was within that same distance playing. He said, so he went from watching his daughter playing to looking at a funky toilet. And he said he would have to, if he had to dig ditches, he would do that, not to be locked up again. So I just want it to be known that Ms. Stinson, who's a, you know, she's a woman. She's like, oh, a woman did that? Yes, she did. She took the initiative, and that program is there to this day. I go back every now and then as a guest speaker, but they're still there. And they're grown. They got like 30, 40 guys. And that all started with the support of Ms. Stinson. So I want to put that out in public so people can know, and women can also know, that it doesn't have to be a man to help these programs. And some of them came because of her. Because, you know, she knows them. She knows them. And she knows they need to come. And that's why they're there. So, all right, let's move on. The first thing I want to do after we finish the introductions, and young lady, you want to let us know your name since you're here, and what is it that you do?
I'm Tiffany, I'm his daughter. I work with children. Very exciting.
Yes, she works with children, very, very exciting. And she's great with children.
I am. I love them.
She's great, she's great. She complains, but she's great. She's great.
Yeah. So. There's a lot, it's not them, it's more the system and the other hoopla that I don't agree with. They are not the problem, so, yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about Young Fathers of Central Florida, because Earl and I was talking earlier, and people oftentimes ask me, tell me about your program, what you have. Tell me about your, some people even say, tell me about your little program. I said, well, which program are you referring to? And I have to just politely let them know that we have an organization. Young Fathers of Central Florida is an organization with 8 programs. So we have to make that clear, and when our advocates speak about our program, we want them to be clear on our programs. We have a Daddy Dad mentoring program. Who's familiar with Michael Mason? Michael Mason. Did any of you remember his Million Mentor campaign that he had with the 72C? Do you happen to remember? He selected one organization to feature and to give a check, $2,500 to, who were doing good work in the community. We were the selected organization, our mentoring program. We was up against Big Brother Big Sister, a lot of organizations. But our Daddy Dad mentoring program is a program that we match an older father with a younger father for a 1-year commitment. So each mentor has to make a commitment for 1 year to this young man, because just like our young fathers have to make commitment to their children, these young men need mentors who can make commitments to them. Because so many people let them down in their lives, and you know, that's why we're very selective in whatever mentors we have. We hope we have so many, we hope we have so many more mentors, but that's an area where we need a lot of work. Because when you have a situation where, you know, you have 7 out of 10 mentors of young black boys are white men, that's a problem. Are we going to tell the white men we don't want them as mentors? No. If they're going to step up to the plate and do it, we're going to welcome them. But African American men need to do better. We need to do better in that commitment. Because just like I was mentioning earlier, a 45, 50-year-old man is really not your future. But a 15-year-old young man is your future. So if we don't focus on them at some point, the writing's on the wall. And we all know that. So we feel our mentoring program is very, very beneficial. And as I go through these programs, you can stop and ask me about them. So I don't have to run through them all. This is a discussion. And then we have our parent training and development. That's where we provide parent training. And a lot of that is done, it's always been done right here in this community center. We utilize as many community centers in the city and county as possible. Because when a lot of people start nonprofit organizations, they start right off the bat trying to get money from people to do things. They don't go out and see what resources are in the community that's free. Like, for example, how much did this room cost today? Nothing. If we need to use the computer room, nothing. We need to use one of the rooms in the back for training, nothing. So the resources are right here in the community. And where else best to find young fathers? There's a playground, there's a basketball court right out back. I can go in there any given day and snatch 5 or 6 fathers right on the basketball court. So this thing about we can't find them, we don't know where they are, you know, they hide in the pyramids, they can't figure out stuff. They always blame it on aliens, right? When they couldn't even find out, right? When they didn't know how they built the pyramid, what they do? They blame it on the aliens. Well, the aliens must have died. Right? Let me stop. But parent training, and we do, and we do everything from shaken baby syndrome classes, child-proofing your home, SIDS, disciplining your child, because that's one thing in our community we don't like to talk about. We don't want to talk about it into what's the running back? Adrian Peterson, beat his kids, then we talk about it. But we don't talk about disciplining our children, because I can get 10 parents of any age and ask them, how would you discipline your daughter if she wanted some cookies with her milk and you said she couldn't have a cookie and she knocked the damn cup down? How would you discipline her? Tell me, someone, how would you do it? Y'all looking at me. I mean, but you get what I'm saying, and we don't talk about this with young men. So young men, young fathers, they're confused because they don't know if they should spank, they don't know if they should do a timeout. I had guys ask me, what's the timeout? You know, what is it? I mean, they want to know. Like, because they read or heard that this is an effective disciplining tool. If we don't talk to them about that, they will never know, and then they will begin to do things that they might not want to do. It's just like when we talk to our guys about disciplining your child while you're drunk or you're high. There's no one who disciplines their child the same when they're drunk or high as when they're sober. There's no one. There's no one disciplining their child and say, you're more aggressive. Even if you're in an argument with your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, when you're drunk, you're not the same. So I'm not saying everyone's aggressive, but you're just not the same. That's what drugs and alcohol do, it period. But these young men disciplining their child when they drunk, you would grab a child when you're drunk differently if you're sober. And you can hurt that child. So parent training is very, very important for our young fathers. And we even allow young mothers to come in now because we realize that a lot of these young women don't know what they're doing. They don't. You feeding a newborn cereal and wonder why the child is crying all night. No one has really taught them. You know who taught them? Their girlfriends. Shamika taught me. Shamika told me. And a lot of these grandmothers had the girls at 13 and 14. Now, the girl had their babies at 13, 14. And grandma ain't 30. She ain't 30 years old. And we expect for them, please, she moving the girl over at the mirror before they go out to the club. She got her tight dress on. You know, pulling the dress out in something big as this. A whole dress. But let me go on. Father support groups, we talked about that. And something in the father support group that's important is that we don't even barter anymore. We don't barter. The one thing we was doing in that group, I said, who in here electrician? Who in here does electrical work? Who in here a painter? Who knows anything about plumbing? Everything I said, there was one or two guys who knew something about it and was pretty good at it. So that's what we start doing. If you need a service, let us know, and we'll get somebody to do that for you. We don't do that anymore. Just like in here. There's an attorney here. If you don't already have an attorney hookup, there you go. If you have the time or you play football, Coach McBurg, team. He has a team even volunteered for years. We got the best chef in Orlando right here. If you come to the dinner Saturday, you will see. So this is the point I'm making. We don't barter, we don't share information. And that's a problem. That's a problem with us. And we have to change that. We have to change it. We get people coming to our house, ripping us off. They don't know you. That's why I do family mediation. And I would tell people all the time I do mediation. You can sit and argue all you want, but guess who's going to make the decision about your child if you don't? That judge. That judge don't know Lil Malcolm. He don't care about Lil Malcolm. He's going to make a decision based on what he sees on paper. So you are the parents. So you need to get your together and make an acceptable agreement for the child, right? Am I right?
Absolutely right.
The judge don't care. They're going to make a decision. You know which one of your children love Halloween more than the other, right? You know which one of your child loves their birthday. Yeah. They love birthday cake. Other child, what gift am I going to give? We know which children love Thanksgiving. The judge don't know that. So parents have to do better with making the decision about their children. And I can go on and on about the actual exchanging of information because it's so important. I was speaking to this one young lady, and I was telling her, do you have updated resume? She said, no, I didn't get to that. But she wanted a job. And I said, well, do you have any resumes on file? She said, no. Why? Because she's reacting. She's not actionary. You shouldn't go looking for a job. They should come looking for you. If you got 15 resumes on file with 15 different agencies that you think you might want to work at, when the job comes up, they know who they calling. Lewis will tell you, I knew exactly we used to get those resumes, and we didn't go looking for new people. We looked for the people that was trying to get a job months ago. That pool, we can keep that pool for X amount of months. So, but that's information. Teen Fatherhood Academy is for 14 and 19-year-old fathers. That's held in high schools, alternative high schools. We work with our alternative high schools because those kids, you know, they're a little more serious because they're like at their last chance almost. So we don't have to worry about them showing up. They show up because they have to. That's our Teen Fatherhood Academy. Just the gentlemen, that's our program for our 10 to 13-year-old boys. It's a character and etiquette development program for 10 to 13-year-old boys. Because a lot of parents will come to us, I can't, you know, you don't have nothing for the little ones before they become daddies. So this is a preventive program. It's a prevention program. And we have waiting lists for that program. Young Fathers Institute that we had at Bethune-Cookman University, the first Young Fatherhood initiative at any major university. And a lot of those young men there at college campuses, their main issues were with the baby mama in separate states. So we had to do a lot of work with them being out of state, how to get time to spend with your children. And then one thing Earl said that I know he's telling the truth because I heard it. Some of those little boys don't even want the girls to know they got babies. Because it'll mess their play up. Because I remember the first time I was there, I was like, you know, who all here got babies? They start looking at each other. I said, that's a damn shame. They're afraid to let them know they have children just because it's a mess they booty calls. But that's a fact. But we have to help them understand that that's not responsible and it's not productive. Young Fatherhood Initiative in the county jails, first Young Fatherhood organization in a correctional facility. We were in Orange County Correctional Facility. We had the juveniles and the adults. And just going, and we went into the pods, just actually going to the pod. People said, you're not scared to go to jail in the pods? I said, what am I afraid of? I said, they wearing jumpsuits and flip-flops. What am I afraid of? They ain't got nothing. They ain't got a belt. They ain't got shoes. Flip-flops. But these boys would wait for me to come. They would wait. Because they wanted, and we wanted to talk about what you're going to do when you leave. Are you going to be that same person that came in here? Or what are you going to do different? Then we have a citywide Young Fathers Initiative in the community center system here in the city of Orlando. So we have numerous mentoring programs for the young fathers, and we go directly into the community centers and work, such as this center here. Is there any questions on any of the programs? Or comment? Did you all know we had 8 programs? Who do that? Raise your hand. Ruby. You don't count. Okay, what could we do to communicate better as groups of men and women who work with our young boys? What can we do better so that I would know that Earl can provide interns for us without us meeting on Father's Week? Anyone?
yelling to the mic there.
Oh.
So good. It's not coming. I got it. All right. Big thing I see for all of us that as organizations we don't utilize enough of is the social media aspect of it. The youngsters have us, running rings around us with the various, Twitter, Facebook, all the other different avenues that are there. I do some mentoring and advising with a group of our guys out of UCF, and they hit me up with the group me, the Cash Apps, all these different things on how they communicate in and around and beyond just the normal day-to-day meeting up somewhere and doing the phone calls. They are talking with guys all over the country simply by going on the social media. And that's one aspect I think we, and a little bit older the generation, we miss out on, especially in our organizations. We'll have somebody responsible for the social media, and they'll post something on Facebook every now and again. They'll throw out a tweet or something, but we're not doing those connections, reaching out, finding out who's doing what we do, or who's doing something that we should be a part of or know about. How do we bridge that gap? It's really reaching out to those folks who know what they're doing. Again, the younger generation of people are involved, and get into that mindset of utilizing those platforms that are there for us. I think that's a huge one for us as an organization, Young Fathers, and any other groups that I work with that seem to have the same kind of issues on there.
I just wanted to piggyback on that. All right, so I run programs at the university, and I can't stress enough, every time I do speak, I always say, I can't stress enough how much that social media thing is real, right? But here's the problem, bridging it, right? Because my generation, I barely know how to get on Facebook, right? I got a Twitter, I've got a couple other social media platforms, but the point I'm making here is this, is that I have peer mentors, peer educators, and I said, okay, I need to fill this room up, right? Okay, I got it, I can go out, right? They come back in 15 minutes, half an hour, the room is filled, right? Why? Snapchat. I don't even understand Snapchat or Instagram or any of this stuff, right? But I do know that when I'm doing a program, and if I need recruitment, I go to my street soldiers who are my peer mentors. So that opens up the question, how does somebody like me get engaged in that if we're looking at people a little younger than me, a little older than me? Because that's something that these young folks, they got that, they mastered that. So is that something that I can even use effectively as they use it? Or did I age out of that and have to try another strategy, a strategy that's more in line with how I know how to communicate? I don't know. That's my question.
That's the wave now, though. That's what it is now. Because if you don't get aboard, you're going to be left behind. It's kind of like, to the point, we're from a generation. People will look at you strange now if you in line if you write a check.
Right.
Okay, because that's not. It's like they're like, oh man, come on. So, as you say, that's what it is now. And if you don't try to pay attention or catch up, you're going to be left behind, because that's what it is now. It's not going to change. It's not going to go back. That's the way we communicate now. And it's so funny because you will hear people talk about, like, for example, how people meet people online. Well, that's just how we are now. We've always met people. Meeting people online is not the issue. We've always met people our entire lives. It's just another way of meeting people. So meeting people is meeting people. But you're just going to have to just say, learn what you can. If you have children, there's always somebody around you that can teach you. You just can't close your mind to it.
Yeah, so the question is, though, is it's not just me. It's the population, my generation.
Right.
So how do we all
But no. But see, you have to start with you, and then you can pull somebody in, because now you can teach somebody once somebody's taught you. You know, because I'm telling you, that's what it is now. Everything is social media. You know, that's what it is now. It's kind of like, again, it's like you walking in there, you don't have a debit card, you got to check.
So how I got around that, I built my team, and I had them do the social media, and then they report back to me things that needs to be addressed.
But see, what you need to do is you need to find somebody within that team to get you to a point where, just in case you can't get in touch, it's just something happens, because you know everything is immediate. You know, so you need to be familiar enough to be able to work enough on the surface to get by what you need, and it's not that difficult. Trust me, it's really simple. It's just we have that old mindset. We want to write a check.
As far as social media is concerned, we just have to get engaged. You know, we just can't sit back and talk about it, and no one ages out of it. So let me just say that no one ages out of it. But I had to engage social media to just see where it goes wrong as well. Like, for example, someone like myself who has an organization. I never forget the first time I put one of our events on Facebook. You know, and you create an event and you invite most of your friends, and you know, you send it out to them. And I never get the first time I had like 190 people coming to one of my events. I said, whoa, 190 people. But I started looking through it, and it was my friends in Australia, China, Japan, all over the place. And then I was like, why you say you come? Man, I just wanted to support you. I just wanted people to see that your event is going to be big. I said, nah, don't do that. Because you got me thinking that I'm going to have all these. Man, I said, man, if half of them come, it's going to be great. But once I filtered it out, it was 20 people. So that's one thing you have to do. You have to look into, you have to get engaged and see what doesn't work. But you never age out. I don't think you ever age out, because you just have to get engaged. You have to get involved. See, I work with a lot of young people, so they keep me engaged. But if you don't work with a lot of young people, you just can't say, oh, man, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to just keep writing it check. We'll say something.
Yeah. Just to, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback on this social media idea, what a lot of my friends are doing, folks that I went to law school with, we started sort of like a directory on Facebook. It's just the alumni page, self-applied page. So what ends up happening is, if somebody has a client that got in a criminal situation, all we do is just say, hey, I'm in Philly, I'm in Orlando, do you know a lawyer that does this type of law in Philly, Orlando, wherever? So if Young Fathers of Central Florida had a Facebook page where we could say, hey, I need to get some electric work done, or I need to get some painting done, or I need a lawyer, somebody in the group who's a part of that page is going to respond. But the second part is, so I think that's the practical piece. You can have a Facebook page where we share information, right? But communication implies a relationship. If we're going to communicate with each other, that means we're engaging in some kind of relationship, and there needs to be some kind of commitment to it. So if you do post something in that group, somebody needs to respond. It doesn't need to be, hey, I posted something, and then Facebook will tell you that it's been seen by X amount of people, and nobody responds. Now it's pointless. So the commitment to this relationship that we want to build to network, that's also important, just as important as creating this communication center. So I suggest that for the organization, you have some kind of Facebook page so we can share information with each other.
You want to add anything, Tom? Good? Yeah. Information. Let's talk a little bit about passing information and sharing information. Because I'm just sitting here looking at who's here, and I know most of you here. And who knows a person that's above a handyman, a craftsman, that can do work in your home? You know some? 1, 2? You know one, right? Louis done work in my house. Dexter, Pine Hill, he fixed my air conditioning. I don't call anybody that I don't know of to do any work in my house. I ain't looking at on the internet, I ain't looking at no one. I'm calling someone. Hey, I need this done in my house. Louis, you used to see this guy's house. And he did him and his friends and the guys that he worked with, the other contractors. Did he say anything about him being a contractor? Why not, Louis? Seriously, why? Why not? That's all I'm saying. We have talents. All of us have so many skills that we can utilize. I'm trying to get them over miles an hour to do something. So we have to find a way. How do you think we can better communicate with one another to support one another? How can we better do that? If I have a transportation question, there's only one person I'm calling. Who? Ruben Graham. When I met him, he had his own transportation company. He works with a transportation company now. I'm going to talk to him about if I have any transportation questions. If anyone knows, people always call me, what's your friend name that's the transportation guy? I said, you Ruben Graham? Yeah. Did Stephanie ever call you, by the way? Stephanie from Judy's friend. That has the organization One Heart, I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay. That's his company business. That's better for him. Real estate. Who all knows sell real estate? 1, 2, 3. No, you can't raise your hand, George. You want to talk. There you go. Even if it's not, and don't feel like when you call these people that they, gotta do something, like he wants him to sell you a house or anything. Just information. Like, hey man, there's these people that's calling me about this house or whatever. You heard of them, you know them. Smitty will say, no, I don't know them, but give me some time, I'll check them out and get back to you. Why is that so difficult for us to share our information? Anyone have an idea?
Let me just say something real quick. I did a Know Your Rights seminar, and it was based on like paternity rights, those family issues. And I didn't do anything but just share it on social media. A Facebook page for your organization for me to disseminate that information would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. I shared it with other groups, but this is the organization where it was perfect. So I plan on continuing to do it because people did show up just by me. I didn't pay anything. I just shared the information on Facebook. So as I continue to do that, I want to be able to get that information to you so that anybody paying attention on that page, they can say, hey, oh, this is something that I want to be a part of, or I know somebody who can benefit, a young father who can benefit from coming to this Know Your Rights seminar, and we can get that info out.
That's important.
Yeah. And going back on that, question on like group economics, and myself personally, I've had opportunity, something I didn't mention earlier. I came up with mentors also through the culinary arts. Well, actually, it's catering, but through the business, I've met people all over the world. I mean, there's hotels and restaurants everywhere. One thing that everybody has to do is eat. you gotta drink. I mean, those are the three basic things. You gotta eat, you need fresh air, you gotta eat, and you have to drink something at some point. All the rest of it, then, clothing and shelter is rates 4 and 5. So I've met a lot of people that business, met a lot of mentors, and every business that you're in is systemic. Even restaurants. You have food commodities. I mean, I know guys on Wall Street that just trade lettuce. They just trade potatoes. They just trade, in different segments, coming out of New York, spending time in New York. But having a chance to live in Windermere right now, living in Winter Park, one of the things that you find in those types of communities is this group economics. These guys are just not meeting, they're just not talking. You go to any Jewish synagogue, they're not just having church. They build a community, the root word of community is commerce. They're sharing within that group, like you're speaking right now, the attorney, the doctor, the lawyer, the plumber, the contractor, and they keep it moving around. And then not only that, they go further, and they build wealth management out of that. They take that collective money that they've made, and a percentage that goes to wealth management. So now you got that equity building, and then you diversify that. Stock, bond, real estate. And it takes care of itself for that. But I think it's touching on something very important that we have not as a community, as a culture. We don't hunt together anymore. We hunt each other. And that's a huge issue. You don't see our culture online with guns, hunting. Who hunts together? You got any hunting buddies? You know a couple guys you trust enough to go in the woods and hunt with? That's a good point. You know them guys? I mean, really, that's how it works. And I'm a guy coming out of New York again, got deep into Wall Street, And if you study Rockefeller, you study Carnegie, you study any of these guys not only made money, but they had their groups. They'll disappear to Jekyll Island. People haven't even heard about it in Georgia. That's where the Federal Reserve was created. These guys can go disappear for a month, retreat, and come up with a whole new financial system. But they hunt together, they fish together, they build communities together. They're business people. So they're competitive, but at the end of the day, they do commerce with each other. And that's a vital part of what we're missing in our community. But outside of that, when I was talking earlier about these retreats, it's just getting into that relaxed setting so the creative part of the mind can work, become to those creative ideas. So I have a venue, a location that would lend itself to that. But it's a big part of commerce. If you open that part of it up, there's a lot of work to be done.
Information. I tell my children, take advantage of your resources that you have around. A lot of us don't take care or take advantage of resources that we have right in our grasp, and then we go after people for something. Look at what resources you have around you, and utilize those resources. Speaking of what you said about the creativity, I was at a health fair. I was a speaker at a health fair this past weekend, and speaking my information. That's all information. One thing that's just so surprising to me is how we allow our children to fall into all these pitfalls that's so wide open that there's no way you can miss it. I had a young man ask about what was more dangerous, smoking or nutrition. And, the first, what he was talking about. He wanted to talk about smoking weed, but he didn't know how to say it. So I went right to it. I said, well, smoking weed, let's talk about that. And he's like, oh, okay. For us to not educate our kids, and have them so confused now with the medical marijuana, the medical street marijuana, the medical back room, marijuana, all these different types of marijuana. We're not teaching our kids that. So like I told them, smoking weed, back in my day, we used to smoke 2 ways. Rolling papers and pipes. Right? Now, they got backwoods, porch woods, Dutches, Fontaine. They got all these different ways to roll their weed, causing dual dependency. So you get a backwood. A backwood or a Dutchess, they got all kind of chemicals in them that you know nothing about. Nicotine. So you roll that up, and some of them even lacing it with a little cocoa if they can afford it, or a little something else. Right? So now you got this blunt. Now, 99% of people that smoke blunts don't smoke them with a glass of milk. They usually got a liquor. Beer, something. So all those dual dependencies is so I'm looking at this, I'm looking at him. He told his friends, what do you mean? They apparently, you know, and then they was talking about backwoods. And do they still sell backwoods? I didn't know they sell. He said, yeah, they got them in different flavors. I said, now they got different flavor backwoods. So that's chemicals. So our kids, and you know they're not studying the effects of this yet, because they've been doing this for 10 years. So all the studies that's out about smoking weed, it's not relevant. So these kids not understanding it. But our kids are confused. Those young men were confused. And he just threw it out the wrong way. He said smoking, and I said, you know, weed, right? He said, That's what they wanted to talk about. All those kids. And afterwards, they would line up to talk to me. About what? Weed. Because they're confused. Just like Wednesday or Thursday night, we having our health education night. People confused about Obamacare and Trump scared. That's what I call it. They're confused. They don't know where they are. And speaking of economics, you know how many working people don't know, they got 401k, don't know what's in their 401k. They don't know what's in their 401k. So where's your 401k and being invested? They have no idea. So that's information.
A lot of money participate in the 401k.
That's right. One is not participating, and they don't know. They're matching. Some of their companies. Go ahead, talk about it. Go ahead. Talk about it. Because it's crazy.
Oh, no, I agree with you 100%. I agree with what he said about commerce, because that's the piece that we're really lacking on. But yeah, a lot of people are not even aware of a 401k, what it does. Savings and investing is something that we just don't get a grip on. It's not taught, because the way I learned about it was not from my parents. My father died when I was in 8th grade, so my mother ended up raising me as a second parent. But how I learned about it was at work and listening to other people talk about, you got to do some investing. Oh, we're fixing to buy this property over here. We're fixing to, you got a mutual fund? Not that mutual fund. What's a mutual fund? So we don't talk about those things in our family setting. We don't, because in a lot of cases, because we don't know, the parent doesn't know about it anyhow. So what you're saying about 401ks and investing, and what you said about commerce is critical. We just know how to make the money and spend the money. I'm not thinking about, the Bible talks about, leaving inheritance for your children's children. But most of the people are just concerned about today. I'm just trying to get through the day so I can hopefully get to tomorrow. I ain't worried about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, building on wealth. I talk to a lot of people and I ain't trying to leave nobody nothing. I'm gonna spend it all. Like, well, that's the problem. If you're not looking to pass something on, you should be building some wealth so that you can leave your children in a better situation than what you were. Yeah, I had to go bust my butt to get something, but I don't want my kids to have to work as hard as I had to work. So I'm talking to them about investing your money, not being an employee for all your life. Look at being an entrepreneur, owning your own business. But we don't talk enough about those things. And we don't talk about saving money, investing money. People put the money in the bank, they're paying 0.05 or whatever they're paying right now. And it's safe. Oh man, the mutual funds and stocks and stuff, that's still risky. When we talk about taking or calculating risk, you know, mutual funds and things like that that's investing in 100, 200, 300 different companies is a calculated risk. They got all kinds of mutual funds. They got some aggressive ones and so forth and so on. So I agree with you 100% what you said about it. We got to start talking and helping our families learn how to invest and save money and start doing some different things about lining up and just making this.
I have to, I share the statistics a lot, and people get alarmed when I share it, but this is real statistics. All right, so we tend to stay, our social mobility is inherited, being that we actually stay within 10, 15, 20,000 tops of our parents' socioeconomic status. So, in even education, even control of education, that's the case as well, right? So when people hear that, they're like, "Are you kidding me, right?" No, this is true. So, and people, they argue, well, no, because I did better than my parents, but that's the anomaly. That's not the statistical norm, right? So what we're talking about is cultural capital. Cultural capital is also inherited. Cultural capital is the social assets that we have. It's how we talk, our understanding of finances, how we speak, how we dress. Guess what we inherit that from? We inherit from our parents, right? So those social capital actually, those assets, they either improves our social mobility, ability to gain traction in life, or it becomes a barrier to our social mobility. So for, you know, I didn't come from wealth. I did not, right? I immigrated here from Jamaica, my parents, all, you know, but technically I was supposed to stay within that, but I had an epiphany and that just changed everything, so I don't even need to get into that. But, so here's the thing. I sold myself short on social media, first of all, right? I developed a program on campus that my students are now actually delivering to conferences. It was for a grant, and what got that grant was a social media component, so I had to develop a way of using social media to make the grant function as robustly as possible. I'd like to talk to you about that too. But one of the things that I'm seeing is that we can use that model to build cultural capital for these fathers, because believe it or not, their kids are going to be at the same status, strong likelihood that they're going to be the same socioeconomic status as the fathers that we're talking right now, right? So how do we improve that? You can use social media to do that. Basically, that model that's been developed, just generalizing into that. So now we start teaching about mutual funds, right, through social media interaction. You want to get people to your website, it's all about engaging social psychology. You can't just put stuff up there, right? Because there's some people that are going to go to it, but you have to have them engaged. We can come up with a plan to increase the cultural capital of these young men in your program so that it increases the life chances for their kids. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, we have to talk about it.
Okay, we got a few minutes left, so let's start, and just give us your parting words. We'll start with Ms. Stinson. Give us your parting words, and each one of us will have a minute or so, and then we'll close out.
I'll start with this. I think everyone here is on the same page of getting our fathers, our youth men on the right track so that they can be able to come up and be able to be good fathers in their household. But I want to encourage all of you. I'm going to give a date. I'll send it to Haki. Here we're trying to build, we're reaching more out into the community for our males in the community, because a lot of our children here don't have that father figure in their home. They don't have that grandfather either. So I want to challenge all of you and ask you to come out. I know August 14th is the first day of school. So I'm asking for August 16th. I need 49 men standing strong inside of Callahan behind one of our Head Start children and their families. So if you're able to do that, we would love for you to come out. I'm sending more information. And we have a fatherhood initiative.
Could you repeat that?
August 16th.
What time?
8:30 a.m.
You're gonna send that to me?
I will send it to you, yes. We want to build a strong fatherhood base here at this site. Like I said, our fathers have been participating. However, we need to be strong. We do a fatherhood initiative twice a month, and we definitely need your support and your help.
All right, I don't have much to say, but I am listening to a lot of things that you all are saying and others. I don't mentor people directly, but indirectly, after listening to you, I guess I'm doing it anyway, don't even know. Because I get a lot of young men that come in with young kids or just starting out, and they ask me, you know, what am I gonna do with all my money? So, someone, first thing they want to do is buy a motorcycle, a nice truck, nice car. That's the first thing they want to do. So I tell a lot of them, I give them a solution on how to save their money. I said, now, if you get this check and you go cash it, you're not going to save it. You're going to spend it. So what you need to do, and I give them, we have ways to save money out of your check without seeing it. So I said, if you get that money out of your check before you put that money in your pocket, you'll save it. So I give a lot of information like that. So, and like I said, I'm doing it, didn't even know I'm doing it. So it's a good thing, listening to you all. I'm going to continue to do that.
First thing I would say, I have a Facebook page that I want everybody to go and press like on. It's the Law Office of Dinero J. Allen. That's where I disseminate information about those seminars that I was talking about.
How do you spell it?
It's DENARO J Allen, ALLEN. And just very, very briefly, whatever we are engaged in, our success is dependent upon our participation. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. If the community doesn't support your business or organization as you have, that's why I'm here. I know for a fact things are much harder when we're not working in unison. So that's what I'm here to promote, the idea that our success is dependent upon each other as individuals, to strengthen our numbers. So just glad that you called me and told me to come out.
You come. I call, brother, you come. I just have to say that.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, coming together is a major, it's very important. And I was sharing, I was agreeing with Earl, that, when we, come from a certain culture, certain background, pretty much you stay right there, And one of the things that I like to do with Grace Project is offer free college tours to the University of South Florida. I didn't share that either. I'm actually an assistant director in the registrar office there. And a lot of kids from Parable Kids came to over spring break, over 40 kids. We showed them around, gave them a nice time, fed them lunch on campus. And also a bunch of kids from another program here called Man Up Mentoring Program. They brought about 20 kids. Just to show them, and the kids were so excited just to be on the college campus. We, sometimes realize that they said, one of the kids said, they have a basketball gymnasium on the college campus? One of the kids, I didn't even know that. He was in 8th grade, and it was like, we had fun, they were just playing, and the recreation department showed them a lot of love, and participated, and introduced them to the football players. So just showing them a different environment, it's really helpful, help our kids get in a different mindset.
Do you have a sister that works here in the city?
Yes, my sister works with, he's the director of Paramount Kids Zone, Brenda March, and so we, pretty well, connected with the local community here, and she also grew up in Washington Shores area, or Lake Bend Housing Project. So, thank you.
Talk a little bit about social media and where things are going for the future as far as how people communicate. And I think, like you were saying, today would be a great place to start with everybody in the room just connecting and supporting each other on Facebook. If IKEA has an event and we're truly supporting it, we should be liking it, sharing it, talking about it, pushing it. If you have something going on with your law firm, we should be recommending people, sending people. That's how group economics work. I mean, I live in Winter Park right now, and I get invites all the time to these high-end restaurants. They get 20 people in a room, and they all own business. And they do just that. They sit around the table. If you want to buy insurance, they recommend you to Steve, who's at Allstate. You know, or if you want to, that's how it's the group economics. They're moving around in that circle, and they build it well. You know, but I think today, I don't know, we signed in somewhere, right?
We all signed in.
So if somehow everybody in the room could just support each other, it's got to start somewhere, and then we talk about it and sit about it.
I'll send a contact sheet out of everyone who signed in, so everyone to get whoever signed in and left their email, and the email is legible. I will send it out. And sometimes you got little kids write the email.
And also business cards. So I think that'd be a lot of times you go to different events and we sit around and everyone take off. If we want to have business cards, we just do a little networking, pass on business card over here.
And that way, once we connect, we can talk a little bit more about what, because I know you're at the school, but I'm sure you have tons of other things that you do, that you didn't have a chance to mention today. Just like he has young father, but what else does he do? Being having a nonprofit, there's got to be something else he do outside of this that we can support also. So it's truly, if we're going to make it happen, it's just do it, and it's got to start somewhere. Today. And I think that would start to address some of the social media, making that go viral, just really supporting each other. But back on our communities, we were talking about putting together a community commerce center, a place where people could go in and do a start. I've been talking to Commissioner Regina Hill and the mayor and the city, Ms. Thompson. We went up, and there's an old grocery store here on, I think it's Robinson. It's a neighborhood grocery store on Robinson, Parable, somewhere around here. And it's closed. It's been closed for some time. And that was one of the places we identified. And we did a study in the neighborhood, and I think it was something like only less than 25% of the homes in Paramore are actually owned by the African American community. It's either rental properties, projects, or when you don't own your community, there's like, we all know, if you have no love for that, or you're not protecting what you don't own. It's a way to be. So how do we fix that issue? When you look at Winter Park and Winter where you have like a 55 or 60% ownership, you can invest into something like that because it's your community. So those are some serious issues that we have to. So it's a high risk for me as a business owner to even try to raise capital to do a venture in a neighborhood where the people I'm trying to support own less than 25% of the community. So that, it's a lot of work to be done, but
okay.
I'm in.
All right.
Let's say anything about this whole social media thing. I guess being a millennial, it's a little different for, my age range. It's like on one hand, I'm old enough to remember getting a checkbook when I first opened up my bank account. And on the second hand, it's like even using a debit card is almost becoming foreign. Because you got the Android Pay, Apple Pay, your phone is like it's life. So in that regard, it's kind of different. I'm in sales personally. I've been in sales over a decade, and the discussions that are going on in corporate America is all about social selling. Like you're not even sending marketing flyers to emails is even becoming a thing of the past. So now they have these algorithms that kind of learn the websites that you go to, and so that's why when you go to, you open up Google, you're gonna have an ad for maybe that bill that you were looking at 2 weeks ago. You know, saying this is all things that are learned, that's learned behavior from your how you browse the internet or places that you shop. Like your social network is everything nowadays. So I would like to be a part of whatever we're going to do for young fathers from that social area on that end. So, and then I guess also kind of utilizing that same thing. I think Bird and Ruben here to talk about this is how do we get the accountability factor, because people can say all the time that they want to be a part of something, but actually getting them to show up. In our chapter, you know, we utilize Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, groupies, I mean the whole nine. We utilize it all, but you still see like the faithful few. So it's educating, getting the buy-in. Because I'm educating my father and my mother on Facebook and Instagrams and things like that. So getting them to kind of meet me on my level, but then they're also telling me things on, you know, how they perceive it. So that can be a useful tool as well. So that's just my final thoughts.
I want to just say thank you for Keith for letting me know about it, and thank you, Charles, for inviting me. I forgot to mention to also do game night sets for the Orlando Magic. So if you need tickets or anything for some of the young people, I do it again to see if I can get some tickets for kids to come to games and so forth. So it's been very enlightening. I agree with everyone that said pretty much. But we do need to find a way to come together and support each other. Like you said, I would do that. I try to do business with as many minorities as I possibly can, but it's just about the people out of the world that do something that they should consider, trying to make extra contract and everything. You don't build, so it's kind of hard to support when you don't know what to build or others.
Yeah, I got a lot going on in my head, but this was really positive, man. You know, the group economics and everything that was, you know, mentioned throughout the course of the evening. Trying to figure out my fit. I do know that there is a fit for me with young fathers of Central Florida, because that's just how I'm charged. It's, you know, everything going on. But again, man, it was just a really, you know, productive, awesome meeting, and also some really great gentlemen in this room and ladies as well too.
I guess one of the bigger things that I take away from today's this evening's meeting is the sharing of information. I think that's very important as a community. Some points in my when I have my talk with my folks, I say the community is just as strong as it's only as strong as you communicate. You know, so everybody's kind of touched on that. You know, how do you know you have this attorney, and all of a sudden, you know, I keep like, well, I only deal with people that I know. You know, so he deals with somebody, and it's almost like a pyramid that I'll go to him for somebody, and somebody go for that person for somebody, and all of a sudden, you got this big snowball effect, so to speak. And it's a tight community, and it is a resource that is reliable. It's not like go see Shuck over there, and then all of a sudden, Shuck doesn't show up to do the job. Right. You know? Right. So we got to be accountable in that sense, and I'm very excited with the social media kind of spin on things. It's about getting that attention and bridging those gaps. That's very important, and just communicating and you know, kind of looking at the perspective of the other side. You know, I consider myself still a young man, but but it's, you know, you got to be open-minded to the other side, and the only way you're going to be open-minded to the other side is to kind of understand the other side of the game. So I'm very excited. Thank you. Still young.
Continuing on with that information topic, I agree with the social media aspect and Facebook and things like that for how key has been coming to your Fatherhood Week. And I think this is really effective because every time I come, I meet a whole new group of people with powerful information. There's no reason this room shouldn't be filled all the way back to the wall, because I know I push out your information for this Fatherhood Week. I'm telling people constantly, people of of different aspects of different jobs, different positions in the community. Once they normally come to me and find out what it is that Hakeem's doing, then their insight is totally different. It's just a matter of them taking time to find out what he's doing.
And for me, it comes down to three things. People that know me know I like the number 3. So it really comes across in here. First, that whole idea of commerce and community. That just opened up a whole new paradigm in me. And what am I doing in my community service to also increase the commerce in that community? So that I posted that on Facebook. We're also Facebook Live on this whole thing, and I was posting it on there for folks. So I'm really going to key on that one. Secondly, what social capital am I leaving for my family and my descendants? Am I elevating my game, so to speak, so that in turn they can elevate? That really hit me on that whole 15 to 20% of what your parents made. Somebody's got to break that ceiling, so to speak, to kind of pull us up. Wow, that was huge. So those two things, and then just, of course, accountability. Like you said, God, we have to not only talk about it, but be about it. Because if next Monday I'm not Facebook friends with everybody in here, or Instagramming with everybody in here, what was the point? What was the purpose? What did we accomplish? So those three really carry over on here, and I will be there for you on that first day of school. That's on my calendar there.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
All right.
Most of you should know me already, but if you don't, my name is Jai. I'm Hakeem's son. I've been working with the program since he started. I just want to thank you guys all for coming, and for y'all all to have a good day.
Right.
I enjoyed myself. Thank you for coming. I also paid attention and learned a lot. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to try to close up tonight. First of all, I'm looking at some of your faces, and I'm looking at some of your faces, and I appreciate the fact that you guys, a lot of you came from work, straight from work, and you still here, and you stuck it out. So I'm very glad that you did that. And just to say a few closing words, we don't need a lot of people to make impact. People think Young Fathers of Central Florida, they come to my office sometimes and say, "No, but where's your real office? Where's the real one?" I said, "This is the real one." Because they expect, based on the work that we do, they expect us to have this huge operation. But we move forward year in, year out because we want it to be accountable, as Ruben just mentioned. And what I would tell all my people, and they all know I always say, we don't care if 5 people are here. We're going to be here every year. We don't care. And that's what I wanted to be accountable for, and that's what we've done for 10 years, and we're going on. We've actually made, that's our 11th year. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary in November, in 2016. So it doesn't take a lot of people, but it takes people who are accountable. It takes people who are going to do what they're going to say. Do what they say they're going to do. And not just talk. And people know that that's not what it's about. Especially when we're working for children. We work with Young Fathers of Central Florida. That's a child. We're child advocates. And it's strange how some people say, "Man, how you know so much about children and all these statistics and such?" I said, Young Fathers of Central Florida. They're all fathers. So if I don't know about children, how am I going to talk to fathers?
And that's based on years and years and years of experience working with young fathers, what issues they have. When we came to the community, I didn't just bring programs here. We surveyed the community to see what the needs were. That's a lot of people problems, that they come to communities and offer the programs that they want to offer and not what the community needs. So having accountability, doing what you say you're going to do is what we rest our hats on. And a lot of you in here are consistent. It's like I said, some of you guys, we need to talk more than just Father's Week. But it's amazing when I can call them up and they come. We might not have talked. That means we still were connected. We still connected. And Lewis, I don't know how far he came. He always come from a long distance. So he gonna make it. That's a commitment. But people, you don't need a whole big group. You don't need a big group to get something done. And people waste time on that. Well, not many people. I can get 5 people here right now and get a lot done. That's what we did with Young Fathers in Florida. Very few people. But the rest of the week, we have tomorrow night. The rest of the events are going to be at the J.R. Smith Center on Group. Tomorrow night we have family law attorney would be there, 2 child support specialists to talk about family law, child support. So if you have people who have questions on that, they should come. They should attend. Then Wednesday night we have, that's our education and mentoring night. If an individual wants to become a mentor, he can come talk about, he or she can come talk about what it is to be a mentor, what a mentor does, and expectations of being a mentor. And if you're a young mother or a mother or a man with a child that wants to get a mentor, you can come as well and get questions answered based on the question you have on mentoring. Thursday, that's our health education night. We want to talk a little bit about the Affordable Care Act and our new Health Care Act. Because a lot of people have questions on that, and for some reason, there's not a lot of people answering. A lot of people want to know what's the difference between Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, as opposed to what Trump. They're trying to be nice. What Trump is offering. And then Friday, we have entrepreneur and employment. And also on the health night, we want to talk about the dangers in the community that we're not talking about with our young people. And not just the physical dangers of something like marijuana, but when the city of Orlando gives me 50 jobs and we have 22 young men, all they have to do with 50 jobs is sign the application, fill out the application, and pass a drug test. When we have 22 fail the drug test, that's a damn shame. That's a shame. 22 out of 50 fail the drug test. So that means those young men can't provide for their children because they don't have a job that's there for them. So we need to just, we need to talk about these issues with our young people because it's not cool. You're not Kanye West, you're not these people who can smoke weed all day. You can't do that. And if we're not telling them that, they're going to continue to do it. So that healthcare, this is our first year doing health education. So we hope people come out and ask questions. And then Saturday we have the pool party at Northwest Community Center. And Saturday night we have our Father's Dinner. So we hope to see some of you we have never seen at the Father's Dinner. We hope we see some of you at this Father's Dinner. Man. You know I'm gonna get them. So that's our week. That's our Father's Week lineup. We're glad you came out tonight and pass your business cards out. I'm going to send all the people who supplied us with legible email. I'll send it all to you guys. I think I have most of your emails, and I'll send it out to you. And thank you for coming, and I appreciate it. Get home safe.
Okay, now that's going to do it for this evening of Young Fathers of Central Florida. starting off Monday, the first day of the 6-day event leading up to Father's Day of 2017, the 10th annual Father's Week dates 12th through the 17th of 2017. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of information. And if you would like to find out more information about Young Fathers of Central Florida, you can always go to the website, youngfathersofcentralflorida.com. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Charles Morris. As Dr. Robinson would say, the journey is from you to me and from me to you so we can reach a high level. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Charles Morris.